Hi, guys.
Oh,
You're making me laugh.
I know. So am I.
And I brought the tree, lighty tree up this time and everything.
Aww.
And I think Charlotte is waiting for our other star in the show later. That's probably why she saw that. She says, "Well, no, I'm going to be around," because that lovely cat that disappears and everything. Yep, spoilers.
David, how old is Charlotte? I was just curious.
9, I believe. If I do the mental math quickly.
I don't want to leave Daddy. Daddy, I want to be out there.
She wants to watch tonight. There's a cat in it.
I am famous. Speaking of famous, let's go back to Gadget. That worked. That transition.
That transition worked.
I can work with that.
Well, let's see. What news can we begin with? But we've got 4 new writers for the new season of Doctor Who and everything. And trying to do research on them was a very interesting topic. So we're just going to stick to what Who has put out. And one of our writers, bear with me if I'm not looking at the camera because this is what happens with dyslexia. You can write it down and the handwriting gets sucked out of nowhere. Okay. It is horrible. And I can't read my own notes. So we have one of the writers, Juno Dawson, and she or they is noted for their book. Let's see. It's This Book is Gay and Her Majesty's Royal Coven. She created the first official Doctor Who script podcast, called Redacted. I'm trying to say if I say it right and everything. Sorry, guys. And she has dipped a little bit into Who and everything. She is a former teacher as well as a published author, like I said. But the best is the Sunday Times Best Novelist and Screenwriter and Journalist Awards and everything. So, okay. And stuff. And then this is where I'm going to mess it up. Inu Alams. I know.
Whatever they are.
I feel bad for them, but this is what happens and everything. And he's a writer of poetry, curator, and his works included The Candy Coated Unicorn and The Converse All Stars, his first play, The 14th Tale. But really cool is that he does write for the Royal Shakespearean Company, and trust me, I've seen their work, and it's really good. Was there in 2016 to see A Midsummer's Night's Dream, and I regret I never got the prologue, whatever the book is for it, the book of the show and everything, because it tells you about the writers and everything. And he, according to this, he's been a fan, and he started watching when he was 10 in Nigeria, so he has a connection probably with Nashudi in the sense of historical, or if anything, like his culture and stuff. So I'm wondering if they had brought him in to help with that, with the season coming up, especially with some of the episodes that are coming up now and everything. But this gentleman, Peter McTighe, did I say it right?
Teague, I think. Is it?
Peter McTighe.
Matai? Oh, okay.
Matai.
He has literally been a Whovian for a while, as he's had his hand in almost all the episodes of certain Who series and everything and stuff. I'm trying to make sure I get this right here, because he's also did another one that I love, The Discovery of Witches. And also he's done the spinoff of The War Between the Land and the Sea. So I've seen his work. He's pretty good and everything. So I want to see if he's dealing more with the sci-fi aspect of some of the episodes and everything, the more sci-fi ones, or the ones that have more like The Discovery of Witches, more historic based, or how does it twist, and stuff like that. But then we have Shamara Angel Walfor, who has actually worked with Freema Agaman and Lily Allen on an episode of Dreamland for Sky, and basically a town called Malice and Renegade Nell, which actually has been cut from Disney Plus and everything. I feel bad because I was watching one episode and it seems pretty good and everything. But she basically says, I'm a massive Russell T Davies fan, and it's a dream come true to be working alongside him. So these 4 have got their hands full with this season coming up and everything. But I'm looking at each one of them, and I'm thinking one looks at it from a teacher's aspect, one a Shakespearean aspect, the other is a regular Whovian and television. So the combo of these 4 could be something very good for next season. And hopefully something really good, because I'm seeing some of the previews for some of the episodes, and they are really nice and everything. But we'll never know until we see the full ones. And coming up for you guys, I know, is MegaCon for everybody and everything, because we actually might hit a certain number by the time you guys get out there and everything and stuff. Right, Christian?
I think we already did. Which number are you?
We hit a certain other number, but I think we're going to hit the other one faster.
I would need to know the number, but I'll go ahead and release the number that we hit just now. And we hit this on the 25th of January, just 3 days ago.
Which I'm loving you guys for.
50,000 subscribers, and that still blows the hell out of my mind right now. So everybody who has just taken the time to hit the subscribe button, going like, you know what, I'll try this if something. What are you people? No, not these numbers. You dorks.
Tom, stop it.
Because
now.
I got a funny feeling looking at this guest list, celebrity list, because there's a bunch of Whovians coming, but there's also some closeted Whovians of other genres in here. A few I've witnessed, and they talk Doctor Who sometimes. We might get more subscribers and be at probably maybe 51K because we're only, what, 400 short?
Gadget.
Yes.
Why are you looking at 51? We're looking at 100,000. That's where we want to be.
Nah, let's not push that, because if we get 100,000, I think Christian's going to have a fainting spell.
Yeah, we probably will, but it would be really great if anyone of you guys have got friends or family who hasn't subscribed, click the button. That's all.
Because I know at MegaCon we're going to get a lot of subscribers. MegaCon, we're going to get a lot of subscribers, especially if we can get these stars to subscribe to. I mean, who knows? Maybe some of them are subscribed. Maybe that was our 50th K subscriber was one of the stars.
That's exactly why they will never come on this show. They're subscribing. We're just keeping an eye on this dude because he's just completely whacked out of his head. So,
well, we do feel bad that Jody did have to back out and everything.
Next
do we
year.
still have the video? We still have the video of her apology and everything, or
I don't have it on me, but just for people to know, she did put out a video on her site, basically saying she won't be at MegaCon. Everybody else should be still there. But she did apologize and say she was going to be aiming for 2026, which our poor Faith has just completely gone into tears right now. And I
wish I could hug her right now because I know she wanted to see Jody so bad.
Yeah, but she's gonna go for, I guess I don't want to say second best, but she's going for Mandip Gill to be out there. Mm-hmm. So right now we are at 50,000. Thank you again so much for everybody subscribing. And as of this moment, when we clocked in this morning, we gained another 540 subscribers. I don't know where the hell you people are coming from. Thank you.
Thank you guys and everything.
You know what's sad is that a friend of mine was telling me about another friend of mine who does a podcast. I won't say because he hasn't said who, he hasn't revealed this, but that person does have 100,000 subscribers. And I asked, how is he doing it? He's going like, well, he hasn't quit his day job. This is like, everybody's going like, you've got 100,000 subscribers. Said, there's a guy who I kind of know. I met him and we're acquaintances, but he's at 100,000 and he's still working. So it's not like we're rolling in dough here. It's just
that's where the illusion is. A lot of people think that once you hit that mark, you're like, but no, it's just that it shows that you guys like us. You like the humor. You like the off-candid bloopers and everything and stuff like that, especially when you get to meet these guys at MegaCon. I wish I could be there, but that would be a miracle. And the booth they have, you're going to love this. If you are at MegaCon, please see them. They are near HQ stage, the photo op booth, and the food booth. So you're not going to be able to miss them and everything. And get your picture with the TARDIS, okay? Absolutely. As well as the Dalek builders. Get to see their Daleks and everything, which I want to see one. I want to be chased around by Hal.
Christian, did you know that I just checked? You know the company which released Doctor Who audio?
Uh-huh.
Do you know how many subscribers they've got?
Yeah, I know.
I know. I'm shocked.
We got more.
Look, right? I don't want to flaunt it out too much. I was just like, I don't want to be that guy that goes like, well, you know me.
All I'm going to say is thank you for everyone who subscribed.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like,
because we're still trying to figure out who the 50th was. We're trying to figure out who the 50K was. We might know who the 50001 is, but we didn't even think we were going to get this. What was the projection after February for this, right? Christian?
What's that?
50K after February, right? You figured it was after?
Well, yeah. For folks who are familiar with it, you got your own YouTube channel. I highly recommend an app called Social Blade. It's a little tricky because sometimes it kind of times out and stuff, so you have to go back in and go back out. But you can keep track of other podcasts, how they're doing. Not only that, you can keep track of their Twitter accounts, their Instagram, and if they do pop up on YouTube, you can actually see how they're doing and their tracking. So folks like the Timescales and Tom over at the Spill the Geek Tea, which we always highly recommend because that's our sister site. Check them out. Make sure you subscribe to their YouTube channel because they're covering all the stuff that we're not covering out here.
Yeah, they take care of the anime and all the other types of things that
it's just random. We just do random stuff.
I'm being polite. I've been watching. I'm being polite. You guys are hysterical.
Right. No, I just saw this tail go like this.
Yeah, I just saw that too out of the corner of my eye.
The David was just perfectly still the whole time.
He's trying not to break. I saw it. You see, I'm used to it because my cat's next door right now. But when she gets back here, oh my God, you guys are going to see her and everything. But I wanted to give you guys a heads up. Like, please check out the it's Dalek Builders of Florida, right?
Daleks of Florida, Dalek Builders of Florida, and Daleks of Arrakos is the sister. Yeah, that's DALEKHAL and Dalek Ren. They have their own individual site. And for all the videos that you see us on the shorts and everything, that's DALEKHAL. He's a fully functioning Dalek. And when I mean fully functioning, he can light up, he can talk, he can shoot. Yep, he can shoot. He can move. He can exterminate. It only lasts for a short amount of time because you need a special. What's that stuff that you use on your desk for the spray can stuff? To clean your.
Oh, the air spray.
Yeah. They use the Dalek uses that air spray, that compression spray. To shoot people.
More like a movie Dalek.
Like a movie Dalek, yeah. If I could get half of a Dalek that could do half of what Hal does, Ren is just
They should give out little plungers
for your toilet,
especially after that episode.
Right, let's move on.
Well, somebody's career is sort of allegedly. We bring this up right now, so it does tie in and everything.
Special plumbing service.
Mario.
Yeah, but like I said, it does coincide with what we're going to talk about now because his career is going down the toilet based on what's been happening. As you all know, Neil Gaiman has allegedly been accused of something that also John Berryman has been accused of and everything. And outside sources it goes one way, another. But we are finding out that Disney has cut ties with him. Dark Horse Comics has cut ties with him. We don't know what the future is for Good Omens on Prime. But a lot of people, because of this, are distancing themselves from Neil and his works and everything. They've interviewed survivors, they say. They've interviewed other people, but everyone is just one side. Nobody's coming together to figure out where it started from, how it happened, and what's going to happen later on now. Is it going to be going to a trial? Is it going to be solved out of court? Does he lose royalty rights? And everybody's up in the air because it's so new. But it also ties into how John Berryman also is supposed to be blackballed, but he has a show, but BBC doesn't want him, but other people do. It's like, is he going to recover, or is he not going to recover? Is he going to the media with this? Like, it's just right now speculation based on what others have said, and he's right now doing damage control with his PR team as well.
Well, here's the thing about, you see, and I'll go back a little bit to the beginning when we talked about John Berryman, because here's the thing with John Berryman. First of all, when he goes on his apology and tells people he's sorry, I'm just like, what are you being sorry for? You're not apologizing to me. I don't know who you're apologizing to. You were already absolved by the people who, had control of the situation. I'm curious as to why the BBC hasn't apologized and started fixing things on their side.
Mm-hmm.
If they allowed that kind of behavior to go on. Now, it's kind of a mix. it's a mixed thing. These companies are going like, we want to try to protect everybody. We have a zero tolerance level of things. And in that case, they had John Barrowman do what he did, allegedly what Noel Clarke said he did. But Barrowman did deny it. He said he already took care of it. It was supposed to be water under the bridge. So as far as I'm concerned, and the other thing is with John Barrowman, people came out to see this. People would spend tickets to spend nights with John Barrowman dressed up in a TARDIS skirt, walking over grown men. People wanted to see this, and it was just like, okay, you know what, you festered. And tell me if I'm, if anybody wants to correct me, or if I'm looking at this in the wrong direction, tell me I'm wrong. They kind of bring this on. I'm not saying they deserve it. Or
the actors.
I mean, like, I would say the corporations at this point. Because if they didn't level them down and just say, hey, no, we don't have what you did. I mean, if any of us did it, if I went out and went to a job, anything that I did, and I did exactly that, not only would I be gone, nobody would ever hear about me again. I would not have a job. But God forbid, that's not the most sanitary thing I've ever heard anybody do on a damn set. And it's just like people took it. So I'm just like, either you condone this or you don't. But I think Gaiman has a different approach. At least John Barrowman, it was, I don't want to say acceptable, but the people who were around him accepted what happened. He did his thing, and everybody moved on. With Gaiman, I think his situation is totally, completely different. And where do you draw the line? Because Barrowman is supposed to be blackballed.
And the funny part is, with Gaiman, they rushed to it to cut him off. John, they gave him time, you know what I mean, and stuff like that before they really cut him off.
Well, John hasn't made any broadcast TV or a film since 2021.
Right, and he's also going. He's also going on tour right now, called the show Bear All, and he's going to talk about what happened. I'm just like, okay, but with Neil, like I said, where do you draw the line between sin and sinner? And
well, this happens at conventions also too. Like, where is the line drawn? Like, you know what I mean? Not only do writers, TV stars, and you have this at conventions with certain things and stuff too. Like, where does it stop? Why are people acting this way? If this is all alleged right now, we don't want to know the proof yet, because we want it collected, because we know there might be a court, there might be trial, there might be whatever, depending on this situation. But it happens all over, and who gets away with it and who doesn't get away with it. That's the thing.
We just want to make one thing clear. These are all alleged. We are not on one side or the other. We are just trying to bring you the news as is. We're not saying anything, with the exception that these things have happened. And, we'll keep an eye on it to see how things go. But
like I said, the articles I was getting, you had, depending on if you were in Europe, there was one version. If you were here in the United States, there was another version. If you were in, I even found a Canada paper, and the same thing happened too. It was like all different things that they were, depending on what side you were on for this. But then the latest one was interviewing one of the survivors, and I'm like, okay, now we have to stop. I have to figure out where this is. We're just going to report it and let it go as it is, because we don't know if there's going to be trial or what.
Well, I heard what I know, Roger, from what I've heard in the circuit, Good Omens was dropped from a season to an episode, or like a one thing movie, and that's going to be it, because I think they've already filmed it, or they're in the middle of it, and they said, you know what, we're already halfway. But like I said, where do we cut the line? Where do we go into the Bill Cosby of things? I mean, it's are we going to pull Nightmare in Silver and The Doctor's Wife off of it? Because the episode that we're reviewing, I don't know his name, Mark, but the episode we're reviewing, they're pulling the guy who made a cameo.
Yeah.
So it does tie in.
The commentator. Yeah.
The commentator. I'm like, well, okay, where do you guys draw the line? Because now, in this episode, are you going to start living up to the expectations? Hollywood has come up, and how many Harvey Weinsteins are in there. I mean, just like even more. I mean, like Christopher Eccleston. Why did he say that all the producers of Doctor Who should be fired?
We know that there were casting couches. You know what I mean? In society, there were casting couches.
Right. And the other thing is that I don't want to. A good friend of mine said this. I don't want to believe in conspiracy theories. Stop giving me a reason why I should believe in conspiracy theories. So yeah, I don't want to ride on a conspiracy theory, but all of a sudden, the Lego puzzle is starting to build up, and I'm just like, all the pieces are fitting. So where do we go with this?
And you don't know who you're going to offend, who you're not going to offend, who fights you because you're on that side of it. And trust me, I understand that completely when it comes to things of this nature and everything. When you're asking for help and they would side more with the one that caused it versus what the proof is showing. You know what I mean? Like, let's work together and figure this out. You know what I mean?
I mean, what do you guys think about this? And time scales, you never heard of the couch. I have, and nobody will invite me to one. So I'm just letting you know.
I was lucky I wasn't the generation of the casting couch, because by the time I ended up in working with certain studios and everything, the casting couch went out the window.
So what do you guys think about this?
Well, I mean, I see a clear difference between Barrowman and Gaiman, first of all, because Gaiman is abusing a position of power and taking, like in the allegations, he is abusing a position of power and displaying a pattern of behavior of victimizing, specifically victimizing women, to satisfy his own ego. Barrowman, I mean, I used to act. I'd like to act again, but the fact is, somebody walking around with their junk out is not, like, it's rarer on film sets, especially when you're not doing a nude scene. But like those, and I don't want to dismiss it the way that we try to dismiss other things, as like locker room talk and all that kind of stuff. But like, you do that, you see stuff, and yeah, you can flash people. There's always that one, maybe two or three, who will find that funny and just flash you at inappropriate moments because they're bored in a theatrical performance and they want you to break character or something. And I'm not condoning it, but I also don't see any real malevolence in it, because as much as even I don't necessarily want to see John Barrowman's appendage, I don't really care if I do.
What did Austin Power call it?
Yeah, baby. But I, at full disclosure, when I used to work in theater for high school and college, this was the norm.
It was.
I'm not saying somebody was taking their junk out, but I meant when they would push the I guess for a better term, the sexual button, I meant everybody was under the assumption, there was a line drawn, but they were really, on the flirtatious level, on the fun level, and it was out of fun, and we did it out of respect. But at some point, when you start coming in, and then the Harvey Weinstein start to show up, and the Bill Cosby's and all,
and also, I mean, you also don't want to excuse the behavior if, like, they've been told, stop doing it, it's making people uncomfortable. Then that's where you start getting into issues.
Right. And John was given the chance to stop, and he did for a while, and then he had to flash his bottom again. So that counts against him. But I definitely wouldn't talk about the same, the two guys in the same situation. They're very different, different things to tackle, if I may use the word tackle.
Hey, all I know is when I was acting on Law and Order, all those other things, as an extra, we didn't have changing rooms. So everybody was just like in these little cubbies, putting sheets up, trying to make sure that we could get changed and everything. Because when you're an extra, it's like you were seeing everything, and like everyone was trying to, like, and they apologized and everything because they knew we're sorry and because it was the quickest way to get changed and everything.
Yeah.
But when it's done deliberately is when now you have to say no and everything and stuff. And when did no become yes, yes become no? Remember that generation?
Well, we're seeing it transition, especially with the Me Too movement. The problem is
you have to see what men on that side and women also with the Me Too, because we don't know.
I mean, like I said, where's the line drawn? Because the things that happened back in the 60s and 70s are going to be totally different from the 80s and 90s and today. Are we better behaved? I don't think we are. I truly don't think we are.
Probably not.
We're just trying to push out that we have this appearance that we are better behaved. But again, like I said, I worked in theater and I got to know women's religion a little bit better because they only had like 5 seconds to change their clothes and move over to the next scene. And I'm just like, well, I kind of thought, well, as somebody, I know I try to turn my head because I'm modest, but in the meantime, oh yay. And at the same time, it was like,
I had an actor while I was sitting catty corner. I'll give you a good one. There's a famous actor who was in Men in Black and everything. I worked on the movie with him and everything. And I'm sitting there as an extra, and lucky I had biker shorts on because every time my chair would move because the way the camera was, I had to stay sitting like this. And he's watching my skirt go up, and he's going, "Come on, come on!" And then he sees the purple biker shorts, and he's like, "Oh, you tease."
Timescales, just like I'm going to rephrase it. It's I don't want to talk about conspiracy theories, so stop making me talk about conspiracy. There's just no way that we can get around.
Right.
It.
Okay.
Yeah.
So shall we get back on topic then?
Absolutely, but
I think we're trying to avoid the topic of the movie or the television. I think that's what we're doing.
No, we'll be here for another hour. So, guys, let's get back to reviewing Fear Her, and let's go ahead round robin so we can get to the commercial break. Gadget, can you write these down for us? I'm sorry.
I can't hear you. What'd you say?
Can you write these down for us? Just I don't have.
Oh, the things, sure.
Yeah.
Let me find a thingy. Yeah, just gotta find a piece of paper, and we're good. Okay.
Charlotte is abused right now. She's acting so abused.
No, she wants to see the kitty in there. She wants to see her favorite actor.
Mr. Cammy Dan Mark, give us a number between 1 and 10.
You know me. You know I'm going to do a point of the TARDIS, so I'm going to give it 6.3 recursive.
6.3.
Can't take you anywhere. Nick Smith, what would you rate Fear Her?
I really wanted to love this episode. I remembered it fondly, but it only gets a 7 from me.
A 7. Well, that's still higher than Mark's out there. Mr. David Adams.
I'm gonna go with. I'll bump it to a 6. I was
Charlotte
thinking
say?
5, but I'll bump it to a 6.
What does Charlotte say? What's her number?
Has a cat, so 10.
10.
10.
Okay.
We'll give Charlie a 10.
Gadget, what's your number?
Almost like Mark's, but I'm gonna. I was going 5, going 6. But yeah, 6.5. I'm gonna go with because it didn't have a 7 because there's too much psychological stuff, and that's more what they focused on. They didn't focus on everything else. It was 2 different stories in one. Yeah.
You're giving it too much credit to even call it psychological. Anyway, we'll get back to the opinions when we get back. Mark is going to lead off the pack. When we return, we are going to be discussing and reviewing disgusting. Wow, you already got my rating. I haven't told my rating.
You really don't like this episode.
That is your rating.
That was my rating. When we return, we're going to talk about Fear Her. When we get up, make sure to go ahead into the chats right now and put your number between 1 and 10 and why. We'll be returning. Please continue to stay logged on and tune in. Oh, God.